Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 12 of the Going for Three podcast. I am your host this week, Tony Farr, aka G, aka Gramps. With me, as always, are my co hosts, Percy PTP Thomas and Chris Hot Takes Collins. How we doing, gentlemen?
I'm doing well. I wonder how PTP's doing right now after what happened. Actually, never mind. I'm not going down that route. It's not the year for pettiness, so I retract my statement. I'm doing well.
I mean,
Lakers in 6. We kind of pushed the goalpost a little bit, but
it's up by
Lakers in
like
6.
4.
It used to be 2. It used to be 2.
Okay.
I'm chilling though, honestly. I mean, nothing new under the sun, as J. Cole would say. I mean, I'm ready. Chilling.
All right. Well, let's start it off with the national championship from last night, as some predicted and some did not. Georgia defeated Alabama 33-18, getting revenge for the SEC championship and winning their first title in 41 years. Your thoughts?
All I can say is, I had the right impression, as most of might have known from the last episode. I said that Georgia defense is going to tighten it up, more or less. That was the premise of my whole point. And then plus it was a showing out game. You got guys like N'Kobe Dean. I think one of their corners and a few of their like offensive players are going into the draft. So on both sides, of course, like they got a lot of people showing out. A learning experience for Alabama because Bryce Young has at least another season with them. So he has a taste of defeat. He's made it this far, won a Heisman. And should be interesting how the team progresses.
And lost 2,000-yard receivers between the SEC championship and the game last night.
With Mechie and
Williams. That I feel like that don't really mean nothing. Alabama breezed them boys.
Because they still had Bolden and it was another that they had that was like dang near borderline like 600.
Yeah.
So it's like,
at this point, it's been what 4 straight years. Last year they had Waddle, Smith. The year before that they had
Ruggs.
Was that Judy? Ruggs and Judy.
Ruggs and Judy.
What was the year before that? It was somebody. They pumped it. They pumped the receivers.
Yeah, I say like
Devontae.
No, that was last year.
Yeah, Smith was last
year.
Devontae Smith was last year. Devontae Smith, because he's a rookie with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I think that'd be 2019 or 2018. But they pumped them receivers out. So I'm not too worried about that.
It's like their supply list is going to be endless. But I mean, I just see it more or less as a learning experience for the team. Like for the freshmen that are going to be there for the foreseeable future. They've made it to a bowl, made it to the championship, taste of defeat. Plus, it was a team that they already had seen before. So I mean, it's just like at some point you're not going to beat them every single time you beat them. You're going to lose a game to a top team, especially like a team like Georgia. So
that's what
team, especially team that knows you.
Yeah,
And that was leading me to my question. Do you guys think that Georgia's a better team? Or
hard to say, because I mean, Saban's stat line speaks for itself. But Kirby is really like motivating them dudes right now. Like he got them playing tough, feeling unbeatable, and it shows. It shows especially defensively. Like defensively, they got some dogs, and I think their defensive coordinator is like taking a coaching job somewhere else. I think. So their defense might not be the same.
I believe you're right.
So the defense might not be the same next year as it is now, but as long as Kirby's their coach, I feel like that dog mentality, like pun intended, because the dog mentality. If Kirby's still coaching, they're gonna have it. So,
I mean, well, specifically like these iterations of these two teams.
Specific iterations, like is it better?
Mm-hmm. Like, do you think that this Georgia football team is better than Alabama's football team? And I don't really want like any like their record or like I want.
I would.
I would say
Oh
yes.
boy. I would say they're even.
I feel like they both lost in a very similar way to each other, honestly.
Yeah.
True. I would say they're even. Georgia's defense is outstanding, where Alabama's took a step back, but Georgia's offense is sketchy. Alabama's isn't. I'd call it even.
Like it gets it's sketchy, but I mean for the most part, like Stetson's he rarely had like a game where he just looked like complete trash though.
No, it's passable. It gets the job done, but compared to what Alabama can do, no. But Alabama's defense is down this year. Could be down again next year. I don't think they're going to be lights out next year, to be honest with you. I think they'll improve, but I don't think they'll be lights out. But that Georgia defense is nasty. So there's really not much comparison in that respect. So I would give it I'd give it an even. But what I
would just say Georgia just based off what they were doing to teams throughout this entire year. Like what they were doing this year was just wild stuff. Like hold teams to that little points that long throughout like a strenuous year in football is pretty crazy.
I definitely think Georgia got disrespected in the sense that like there's some people, who as soon as the title game's over, they put out, a top 25 for the next season.
Mm-hmm.
And unless it's some like odd out of nowhere like national champion, I think just based on how this has been working, unless they just flat out lose everybody, coaching staff, like all their best players, I think the national champion should be number one going into the next season. And all these prognosticators who are putting out polls for next year, they don't even have Georgia 2. They have Alabama number 1 going into next year. And it's like instant disrespect. Like,
yeah.
What? Well, who do you think has the best quarterback?
I don't even know if it's about that. I don't want to say it's necessarily about that, but if the majority of what Georgia has is coming back, and they just won the title, why shouldn't they be number one going into the next season?
I'm questioning how much is coming back.
Their defense is probably getting gutted because Dean's leaving.
Yeah, I'm about to say some
of their corners are leaving.
Of defensive guys leaving. Yeah,
some of their pass rushers are leaving. I know Dalvin Cook's brother. He was a senior, so he's gone.
And what's the boy in the middle's name? I forget his name.
Talking about on the line, like the D line or the O line.
Yeah, like the guy that's like gonna be. Okay, I should know this. He was on my list. Shoot. Mm-hmm. Also, James Cook looks just like Dalvin. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, he looks eerily similar to Dalvin.
They look very the same.
See, but you also made a point about what Georgia's. Well, what do you? I think it's too like right after the national championship. You shouldn't. No prognosticator should come up with a top 25 list for the following season because you don't know who anybody's losing yet. Technically, not for sure.
I mean, we know that Bryce Young's not leaving.
Yeah, Bryce is the only one that really knows for sure. In some of the receivers, like I don't think Bolden leaves yet.
And if they're not like they're not juniors, then I mean, but you can speculate that they're gonna stay.
Yeah, but it's like Georgia definitely like. But yeah, Chris, I found the name. I think it's like Jordan Davis. That dude's a freak of nature though. 6'6", running how he runs, like that's crazy. But like Jordan Davis is a senior.
Yeah,
Dean I think is
Jordan Davis is he's like the driving force of their defense. Yeah,
they got like Georgia has a lot of seniors, so that team is gonna be like their last chance, low-key, to make a run for that.
Well, I'm not saying this is like a hot take or anything. I just think it's a personal opinion. If you won the national title and you're not absolutely just automatically gutted, the coach is leaving, all that kind of nonsense, you should be the preseason number one. You just won the
That's
title.
what we're saying, though. We're saying that they are going to get
Yeah,
gutted.
I say I feel like
Jordan,
that's why their ranking is a little bit lower because they know what type of defensive presences they're losing once the season is over.
they have 3 defensive linemen that are seniors.
Like they have a lot
2
of
offensive linemen. That's a lot of seniors, actually. It's
But where did they finish in the recruiting? They always reload.
okay, but we're not going to do that, though. We're not just going to assume. We're not literally just going to assume that their reloading is going to replace NFL ready guys.
Well,
they're getting
under that same assertion, you can't automatically assume that whatever Alabama reloads with, they're just going to turn around and win it again.
But I know who they have for sure, and they have Bryce Young, and that team was driven this year by Bryce Young. We even said it, like the defense was down this year, and they were offense heavy, offense oriented, Bryce Young oriented, and they made it back to the championship. So like their strength is still there. Georgia's strength, I'm not so sure it's going to still be there. They're losing a big part of it for sure in the D line. They're losing 3 seniors, as you know. Obviously, Jordan Davis is a part of that, but Devontae Wyatt and Julian Rochester. I don't know if those other 2 started, but I mean, they're seniors, so I would imagine that 2 of them did, or one of the other did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't think it's unfair. Like you said, if you win a championship in sports, you deserve to be ranked number 1. But college sports is, interesting just because, like, if you're a certain age, you're going to leave. If you're out of eligibility, you're going to leave. If you want to go to the draft, you're going to leave. So like it's so many different ways that that can lose players, or they can just transfer depending on situations. But I mean, I don't think it's unfair. The dominant part of the team is not going to be there, at least not in full force.
Okay, more about saying, like, just to kind of like put this into perspective, I looked at their recruiting class for next year, and I think their recruiting class ranks 3rd. They're 3rd in the nation, I think, with this recruiting class, and then they're like 3rd in the SEC. So this recruiting class could be fire, but it's more or less one of the things where like you kind of have to like wait and see because there's a lot of 5-star, a lot of 5-star prospects that might not live up to that hype.
And they're like those guys just gotta like. I feel like that's wishful thinking to just hope that all of these commits are gonna hit immediately off the bat the very next year. Like it's possible.
Yeah.
And then also, if we're gonna do that, if we're gonna credit Georgia for having the 3rd recruiting class as far as for them to reload, then we also have to credit Alabama, who has the 2nd recruiting class. You know what I mean? So Texas A&M has the top is what I'm looking at. Alabama has the 2nd, Georgia 3rd, Ohio State 4th. I feel like that's never any much different, Yeah. So last year Georgia was 4.
The recruiting class.
So they're always gonna. And then 2020 they were 1st. 2019 they were 2nd. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, they're always gonna be at the top. They're one of the best SEC schools. So I don't know. I'm not convinced that they should be number 1. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's unfair.
All right.
You can't just say
Yeah, well, we don't need to get to a big drawn out thing about this. It was just
Yeah.
Let's move it along.
I agree.
All right, PTP. All right, settle down there.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's move it along to the NFL, and it's Wildcard weekend.
Yes, sir.
The Packers and Titans have the byes, so they will not play. I can't believe Tennessee got a bye, but okay.
The Texans, they tried their darndest.
Yeah,
They really did.
Yeah, they did.
Some stuff happened, man. I don't know what happened.
They tried, man. I can't even be mad. Oh well.
Hey, Davis Mills looked like a serviceable quarterback to all of a sudden.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get on wild card weekend. I think we'll go through. Let's go through the games. Talk about them a little bit, predict the winners, and then we can just go ahead and go through and pick our Super Bowls. That's all right with you guys?
Yeah, of course.
Well,
okay, so let's start
going for Mr. Hot Take column.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to.
I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. It's not like it's a home. It's not like it's a home take. I mean, they got a pretty solid shot, so
Well, all right. Well, let's start with Saturday. We have the number 4 seed Cincinnati Bengals hosting the number 5 seed Las Vegas Raiders. Who's winning?
I'm taking the Raiders, man.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that the Raiders have just been finding ways to win games. Like, they seem like they have a certain type of grittiness under all of that. Even though sometimes we feel like, they're just trying to find ways to lose games. Yeah. They be winning games.
That is true.
And I think, although they don't have a ton of playoff experience, Derek has been to the playoffs before. And I think we just need to, maybe Joe is that guy. He's going to be that guy, but he may not be there yet. So I think this will serve as a learning opportunity for him, and I'm going to take the Raiders.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Well, yeah, of course, obviously, because we can't agree, of course.
No, it's not against the rules. I can absolutely see the Raiders winning this because of their pass rush and Cincinnati's not so great offensive line. But I think in the end, Cincinnati's going to do enough. They're going to score enough points to win this game. Mm-hmm. The Raiders' secondary is horrendous. And even if the pass rush, I think they'll scheme against the pass rush and those receivers will just do their thing. Mixon will do enough. Bengals win. Probably a higher scoring game than will be expected, but Bengals win.
I'd probably have to agree. The idea of Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue just wreaking havoc all over Joe Burrow for an entire day isn't completely out of the question because they very much so can do that because they've both been playing crazy this year. But I feel like you said, like the offensive firepower, because it's pretty much Raiders defense versus offense of Burrow and Chase and Boyd and them boys, and I feel like that they have a multitude of ways of getting to the end zone. Like tight end wise, Uzama he can pop off for a day if they need him to. Higgins, Mixon, like they got a lot of ways to get down the field. And offensively, Derek Carr is gritty. He's gonna get it to his guys, Zay Jones, Darren Waller. He's gonna get it to his guys, Josh Jacobs. But I think overall, both teams not really having that much playoff experience. Bengals are probably gonna pull this one out.
Yeah. Let's not forget the Bengals defense isn't terrible.
I say that they got some hitters over there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I could see I don't really want to go out on a limb here, but I could see a 31-27, something like that. I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Saturday night, round 3, Patriots at Bills. What say you?
Patriots. I don't believe in Josh Allen, especially after this year. And I just feel like Bill's gonna find some way, some scheme to just make Josh Allen make mistakes. And Mac Jones is going to do just enough, and the Patriots going to move on. That's just what I see. Also, Bills can't run the ball, so
Yeah.
They have been a little better about it recently. I'll give them that
a bit, but I feel like in a game against Bill, I can't feel comfortable.
I'm going to agree. I say Patriots win.
Mm.
They'll do just enough. The defense will show. The Bills will turn the ball over.
Yeah.
It won't be pretty. Patriots win.
I would agree with both of you if this was in Foxborough. I would totally agree. I mean, Bills at home, I feel have a better shot of taking this game, and then mainly because I don't know if we thought about this like on pod or off, but Bills when they have something to prove, I can't really dispute it at this point. Like when the Bills when they have something to prove, low key is one of the tougher teams to beat. Offensively, they're not really undermanned outside of the fact they don't, like how you said, they don't run the ball. But defensively, Mac Jones is probably going to have a rougher day. He's going to have a really rough day. And I don't think Bill can scheme for if, like, Mac is just getting the whole crib sent at him, like a whole semi-Mac truck thrown at him. Like, Bill has had a miraculous year. And that's everybody knows that because he's had to pretty much reset the whole team. But I don't think he pulled this one out. I think the Bills take this one.
I would give that to you about the Bills being at home and something to prove. If it wasn't against if the Bills weren't playing Bill.
I'm gonna say because Bill gonna do his thing. Like it's gonna be a closer game point wise, just because Bill gonna get in that head. He gonna make them overthink some things, but
and also because of how they played their first game.
Yeah.
I don't see why Bill doesn't think that he can do the exact same thing. not as much as like the 3 pass attempts, but just making things hard on the Bills offense.
But
keeping
keeping
Mac Jones in opportunities that's not going to be super stressful, super pressed. Running the ball. They have a couple running backs. And just doing like Graham said, doing just enough to get the dub. And I got to be honest, I trust Bill more than I trust Josh. To be quite frank.
I think last thing I'm gonna just say on that is the weather restraint kind of put like a damper on it because it made the game look a lot worse than it really was because more or less like they just really couldn't do what they wanted to do. Like they were primarily an air team, and that was just like weather wasn't on their side that day, and it showed like visually. It showed.
It could very well play a factor again.
It's gonna snow up there on Saturday.
From what I'm seeing, the forecast is for 4 degrees, but I don't see anything about snow at this point.
But it will be cold.
It will be cold.
Yeah.
And there very well could be the wind because that was a factor. It wasn't so much the snow last time; it was that wind.
Yeah.
So
Singletary might be a factor this week. Then I mean, they did use him a little bit last week, I believe, or the week before. So.
Yeah, I did say that they have been a little better running the ball of late, but
coming from where they were, though, I mean,
you really couldn't have gotten any worse.
I'm pretty sure Josh Allen's still their leading rusher, so I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, he's got to be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got to be.
Yeah, by a fair amount, I would think. Yeah. All right, so on to Sunday. We've got Eagles and Buccaneers. Is there much to talk about here? Is anybody going to pick the Eagles? Because I'm certainly not.
I'm going to talk about it real quick, but just real quick correction on us on our part. Devin Singletary actually is the leading rusher for the Bills. Apparently, he has almost 100 more yards than Josh. He's got 870. Josh has 763. Who knew?
Wow.
Anyway, I know.
Wow, I didn't think there was anywhere near that, but okay.
Me too. I was pleasantly surprised. I guess I'm not sure. More so for who, but either way, this is what I'll say. I think this is going to be a great game for Jalen Hurts. he's gonna ball out on a national stage, and he's gonna ball his heart out. He's gonna lose, but he'll have proven going forward that he can be the quarterback for this team. That's what I think is going to happen. And I know, like, I feel like, I think I really am actually still saying something. I'm not just bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that has value too. Because like this whole year, I feel like the Eagles have really trying to figure out if they can go forward with Jalen Hurts, and I think during this game he's going to show. I'm someone that can be built around.
I think he's already proven he could be their guy. It's just a question of whether they believe it.
Yeah.
True, exactly. And it's like, but when you get to the playoffs and you ball out in the playoffs, it gets close to the point of undeniable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love for them to win. I would love it. Not for Tom. Obviously, I want Tom to get back to the Super Bowl because we got unfinished business with him. But if Jalen was to win, y'all know I love some Hurts.
Philly would be up in flames if the Eagles managed to beat the Bucs on Sunday.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
it would be Super Bowl parade.
It would be almost as if Nick Foles was back on the team for a day with the excitement that they would would consume them.
They would turn into Super Bowl or bust so quick.
They'd be like, Hurts to the chip. We get the ball.
It's like Hurts or Tom Brady, Hurts or Mahomes. I don't know. It's toss up. I don't know.
Is Hurts top five? Like, have we been sleeping on Hurts?
Like Lamar, who? I don't know.
We're gonna have the pun Hurts doing it all over the news. Like, it's gonna be crazy.
We can. I mean, we can kind of Lamar who anyway now. But anywho. All right, I know Tuck's gonna hit me with the Gramps Bayless again after that, but anyway.
Sorry, sometimes y'all switch plays that is crazy to me.
Shots fired, and I'm an excellent marksman. Anywho, so that's consensus. Next up, 49ers and Cowboys.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys. No, it's not a confident pick, but I would much rather see the Cowboys just move on. I think they're more entertaining to watch. I do think that Dak is better, Jimmy G, but Jimmy G's just been playing very well under pressure. I don't know.
Way more comfortable now, like it shows.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. I'll take the Cowboys, but it's not a very confident pick.
I'm taking the Niners.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Let's not something to mention, and I to the audience who may not know. The Cowboys went 12-5. They won the division. Fair enough. They deserve to be in. However, they did go 6-0 in the division. Division not great. I understand the Eagles are in the playoffs, but 9-8. Let's back up a little bit on that. They went 6-0 in the division, a terrible division, and they were 6-5 otherwise.
Against everybody else.
San Francisco's defense,
yeah, they were 6-5 against everybody else. San Francisco's defense and San Francisco's defense has been playing better. They've been more creative on offense. Jimmy G's looked more comfortable. He's been dishing the ball around. I don't think there's going to be a ton of points here. Even though, looking at the way they've been playing lately, you would think it's more likely. I don't see a ton of points here, but Niners win.
Yeah, I really want to go Cowboys. Honestly, I really do. But there's like two variables that I'm taking, maybe three, into consideration as far as like for both sides. Niners, I mean, honestly, Deebo Samuel's having like a crazy year. That includes running the ball, like as a receiver, like it's crazy. And then Cowboys, I mean, do they put Diggs on Samuel? Like, I said something about like Parsons. I don't know if Parsons is playing or not. I think I said something about like he like a minor injury or something. Like,
Oh well, if it's minor, then he definitely gonna
Yeah,
play.
but it's like a little road bump. But overall, I mean, we all said, Jimmy G is mad comfortable. He looks mad comfortable right now. I think he has like the second highest, or like leads the league in like passes like converted like under pressure. It's just like the Niners still have a lot of playoff experience that people seem to forget. So it's not like they're gonna get clowned by a very talented Cowboys team, like offensively and defensively. Like they're really talented, but ain't gonna be a wash. And Jimmy G can probably pull off a game or two before they get kicked out. So go with the Niners.
After hearing you guys, I think I'm a little bit more a little bit more convicted in my pick. I feel more confident with the Cowboys.
Mm.
It was weird just hearing y'all reasons. I didn't like it.
That was not what I expected to hear. Okay,
I know, right? You thought, yeah, you probably would have thought that I was going to double back, but no, Dak's going to have, if Dak's going to be the guy that he thinks he is, then it has to start now.
I mean, Dak is going up against the wall though. Like the same way it is for Jimmy G, as far as he has to deal with Parsons and Diggs and Lawrence and Van Der Esch. Like, with Dak dealing with some dogs over there. Almost said Armstrong, but I don't even think Armstrong plays with him anymore. Fred Warner, that's a name. There we go.
I mean, I'm not saying 49ers defense is bad.
Yeah. Maybe they got the experience. Like, I feel like experience of making it to a Super Bowl, it doesn't really leave you. And dealing with a team like the Cowboys, where like they're known for being talented, but then they just choke. Very much possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but now they're in the playoffs, so
they could break the Robo curse. You know what I'm saying? They could be their year.
Not the Robo curse.
Wow. Huh. All right.
Romo,
next up,
Cowboys.
next up, Sunday night. I am purposefully audibly sighing because Steelers at Chiefs.
Got the right answer for this one. I'm gonna wait.
Steelers have no shot. Chiefs are going to kill them.
I'm not going to say no. I'm never going to say no shot.
I don't know about that.
I take the Steelers very seriously.
I don't.
I take that team very seriously, and they got something to play for, man. Of course, I'm gonna take the Chiefs, but I'm gonna take this team very seriously. They have a solid defense. They have game breakers on the defense. They have playmakers on the offense. If Ben can be a last hurrah, which this is for him, he can give us trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason, and this is his last hurrah. It's not out of the imagination for him to turn some things back.
Mm.
So, but we are.
Well,
I mean, it is an Arrowhead though, and that is very tough place to play.
Chiefs by double digits. Enough said.
Okay, let me chime in because Graham think this is gonna get fucked. It ain't gonna be that easy. I'll just break down exactly why I would honestly not be surprised if the Steelers win this game. For one, I put like this: TJ Watt, literally, I think he broke the record, or he just tied it last week.
He tied
the record for sacks.
He tied it.
And there's like, there's a part of me that wants to say that like TJ Watt's more or less gonna get his. Like that man is GM. He's Mr. GMSI right now when it comes to pass rushing. He's gonna get his stuff in. So, and like you said, Ben Roethlisberger last run, but then also the variable that gets passed over. Same way we look at Bill, I feel like we need to start looking at Mike Tomlin the same way. Really, just because teams that obviously don't look like they're like in playoff shape, making it happen. He hasn't had a year where he missed it. He tied like the record, he tied the record for like most consecutive years making the playoffs.
He did.
So the chances are like, I mean, the Chiefs probably could still win this. Like the chances of them winning the game are a lot higher, but I wouldn't say the Steelers like completely go down like without a fight. To be honest, it might not even be as high of a scoring game as people would want it to be. Both defenses have been playing at a really exceptional level. The difference is one team has Mahomes and Tyreek, and so
well, and a lot of other guys.
Very
I
much
mean,
so. So I mean, I don't think it'll be a high. I don't think it'll be like a high scoring blowout. Like a team will end with 40. I don't think it'll get that crazy, but. Wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers pull something
I can
out.
see 25-17. I can see 25-17. But to touch on your point with Mike Tomlin, I love me some Mike, but he ain't on Bill's level. Just because, like, yes, what he's done is great as far as keep getting teams to the playoffs, but I ain't never seen Mike scheme out, great offenses and just completely shut down teams that are supposed to do shit and they just don't do it. Like what he did, what him and his staff did in that Super Bowl against the Rams. I get that Todd was a bit hobbled, but they were the highest scoring offense. They were a historically high scoring offense, actually. I don't know what spot they were, but they was historical. And they held them to what? Was it 3 points?
That Rams defense, yeah. That Rams team,
yeah. They're a Rams team. So I mean, I'm no. Mike Tomlin's a great coach.
All I'm gonna say is when you go through a whole season with Mason Rudolph as your coach and your season breaks even, like you might not be a playoff, but like you literally don't lose the season isn't a complete wash. That says something. I ain't gonna lie. That says something to me.
You said Mason Rudolph as your what?
When Mason Rudolph literally, I think, played the majority of their season for them, and they still I think they still managed to go like 8-8 or something like that. Like that, taking that into effect. Like I mean, there's a lot of teams that would have Mason Rudolph leading and might be just like a top 5 pick at the end of the year. But weren't the top 5 pick that year, so that's something to take into consideration. Like Tomlin makes something out of nothing a lot more than people really want to give him credit for.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna take the team seriously. I don't see a full out blowout, but I definitely don't see. I don't see them winning the game either, though. But I just want to express, the respect that I have for the Steelers because although, before Mahomes, but we played the Steelers a lot in the playoffs and a lot in those Alex Smith, Ben Roethlisberger years, and we couldn't get past it. And obviously, it's definitely a different situation. But over years of playing them, I respect what they have and what they represent. And they still had Tomlin, they still had Ben in those years. Granted, different times, but I'm not gonna take them lightly.
Yeah. Those crazy things have happened. There's a lot of teams that get better, but when they see certain teams, they'll still have like shades of old iterations, just because like the history is there.
And you're right. Crazier things have happened. You know who they happened to? The Chiefs. When we were up 28-3 against the Colts, and Andrew Luck fumbled his own snap and then caught it or picked it up for a touchdown. Or when we blew our lead to the Tennessee Titans, when Marcus Mariota threw a pass, it got swatted back down to him and he ran in his own fucking touchdown. So I mean, or when we played the Steelers, we had Alex Smith and we held the Pittsburgh offense to no touchdowns, and we still lost because they kicked 6 field goals. Yeah, you're right. Crazier things happen.
Yeah,
that's why they have my full respect and attention, and I hope the team feels that way as well. As far as the Chiefs, it's gonna be. But I know one thing: it's gonna be rocking in Arrowhead. That's all I know.
They're gonna bring the energy for sure.
Be rocking. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Oh, jeez. Anywho, on to the last wild card.
I had to. I couldn't just let it.
I'm sure.
I was objective for 5 minutes. Let me be a fan for.
All right. Last wild card game Monday. Cardinals and Rams.
That's the one right there. That is the one.
Well, I'm gonna get to it at some point.
I don't know.
I'm not happy. I'm not excited for this game for a few reasons. I'm not excited.
Listen, I want to hear what you got to say first.
Okay, I got play this. Yeah. More or less, it's not for the reason that you think it is. It's not because I'm saying Stafford in a playoff series. It's not because of that. Or in a playoff game. It's not because of that.
I definitely thought it was because of that. I'm now more interested.
I had to make that very, very clear. Matthew is still loved in Detroit. I don't have a problem with that. The fact of that both these teams down the stretch didn't really look that good to me. Obviously, they still were winning games, but some of them were just really, really ugly. Tyler, I don't know if he's playing hurt or not, or he's just in his own head, but there's some games where like he was in MVP contention, and now I don't even think I don't know about that one. Like he's up in the air. Defensively, Rams have been like crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Jalen Ramsey's having he wrapping dudes up. Donald being Donald. Same for the Cardinals. I mean, I think they to get a little bit better with Isaiah Simmons. You know, I haven't heard that name in a minute. But I don't know I would pick in this game. I want to pick the Rams just because, you know, for other reasons that I don't want to get into. But I feel like
what are the reasons that you don't want to get into? you want Matt Stafford to win.
Okay, but yeah, more or less, that's the point. Yeah,
I ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Cool because it's like I love me some Kyler. Kyler Murray is when the Cardinals are on, they're fun. But these past few games, they just haven't been on. And the Rams defensively can definitely take advantage of a team when you're not like completely invested. Like Ramsey gonna ruin your day, Donald gonna ruin your day. I feel like the Rams pull this off. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game either. I just think
that's pretty much it. I think neither team looks good coming into this. Yeah. They've both been sloppy, mistake prone, turnovers, but in the end, I think the Rams defense will do the job and secure them the win, and probably not a pretty game.
Interesting. I don't think it's going to be an ugly game, to be honest. I actually kind of think it might be a high-scoring game, to be quite frank with you guys. I can definitely see it getting into like the high 20s, 30s. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals like have been in relatively high-scoring games this like last stretch of the season.
Yeah.
You know, and they just played the Rams recently. Well, not recently, but probably about a month ago, and it was a relatively high-scoring game. The Rams got out with the win, but right now I'm not convinced that the Cardinals defense could stop the game from getting to be high-scoring anyway. So.
Yeah. I mean, like the only one of the real major statistics that the Cardinals do have like on their side going into this is that they have like I think second best or just the best overall. Like they have the best road record. Like when they're on the road, like they go stupid. So that is in their favor as far as going to SoFi. So they could definitely go in there, punch them in the mouth, and then leave with the dub. But I don't know.
I guess I'll go with the Rams. But I would absolutely not be surprised if the Cardinals won. I think this is probably one of the more competitive, if not the most competitive game this weekend, or out of the first round, I should say.
Yeah. McVay gonna have to, but Cup gonna have to go for 200. 100.
Rodale goes for 100.
True. Yeah. Rams got a lot of hands on deck. I ain't gonna lie.
All right. Now, we're not going to go through the entirety of the playoffs for everybody. A little time consuming. Now, take into account what we just said and who we think is going to win those games. Who's in the Super Bowl?
Are you asking me first, or what's happening here?
Who go for it?
Chiefs and Bucks. Actually, let me take that back. I truly don't believe the Bucks are going to make the Super Bowl. I just want them to. Chiefs and Rams, honestly, probably. If the Rams if the Rams beat the Cardinals, I would probably have them going all the way.
That's.
I know Green Bay's there too, but I'll take the
that boy said Rodgers ain't a bad man. Crazy.
No, it's not. bad man, you know.
It's a bad
He's
man.
so Aaron Rodgers, but you know.
Honestly,
Bucks and Chiefs.
Bucks and Chiefs.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna use a radical one.
And I had to grit my teeth to say it, but rematch.
You didn't. You like the Chiefs. It's okay.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm just going on a radical limb because I mean I feel like everybody's gonna. I felt like I was gonna hear two teams that I did, and I did. So I'm gonna just try to mix it up.
I mean, because they're the favorites.
And rightfully so. I understand that, but
you don't got to pick a team just to go against it.
no, like I ain't gonna lie, this is what I would want to see. Honestly, like this is what I'm going off of. Honestly, and then
You finna see it.
what?
Oh no, but my bad. Go ahead. I feel like I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna wait for it though.
All right. Honestly, as far as like what I would like to see, Bengals Packers. Cool.
Bengals Packers. Yeah.
What?
It's
Hold up. Let
crazy.
me.
That's just something that I feel. I feel like that'd be an interesting game. That'd be an interesting game.
I had to break it to you. That ain't gonna happen.
I'm gonna say obviously, like if I wanted to just go with like,
who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
I just said I'm going off what I want to see. Like
I know, but I'm now, and now I'm asking you, who do you think is going to get there? Those two, because I heard what you want to see. Who do you think is actually going to get there?
I really don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
I don't understand why you hate on this team for no reason.
We
have paid our respects.
I don't hate them.
You know how many years we didn't get it done? You know how painful it is to have 3 straight playoffs where you are up damn near 20 points and lose consecutive years. Blow leads.
I gotta play this. I know that the Chiefs and Bucks have a high chance of making the Super Bowl, but the only reason I'll put it like this: the only reason I really don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl is because obviously the team as a whole paid its dues. It's worked very, very hard. It's had like years of just straight turmoil, but some of the fan base, when y'all are up, it's insufferable. It makes it hard to look past it.
It's no different than any other fan base that believes that they have a Super Bowl team. It's no different. No different than Patriots fans, Cowboys fans.
But at the same time, it's like it goes past that.
It goes past not. Bro, you have to remember what Patriots fans were when they had Tom and Bill just in the middle of it. Like they were inseparable. You could they were inconsolable. You couldn't tell them anything. It's like it doesn't matter. Like I have Tom Brady. What are you talking about? We're going to win the Super Bowl.
There's other teams that have that. Still probably have that.
When you have one of those guys is like a quarterback, like I feel like the Packers have kind of cooled off just because I feel like a lot of their fans really just don't like Aaron Rodgers as a person.
They know Aaron's leaving too, so that plays.
Yeah, exactly. I know he's leaving, but like when you have one of those guys, like you're gonna feel that way, and it's like, and especially when you've been there already before, so it's just like there's no reason why we can't get back. And also, we've talked about this, although you greatly disagree. The disrespect on Patrick Mahomes that he's gotten, especially this year, is quite frank appalling to me. But no, I haven't seen any other like quarterback that's already won get disrespected in the way that Patrick has gotten disrespected this year. That's actually pretty crazy. But he's just broken. What do I know?
I mean, G, I don't know if you might. You probably got a different reason as to why it pains you to say it. But I mean, obviously, Chiefs and Bucks probably is going to be what the Super Bowl is. I would like to see the Bengals and the Packers, me personally. But
I'm not too confident in the Bucks getting there, man. I'm not. I'm more confident in us just because, like, obviously it's the Chiefs, but like I don't think our field is that hard, to be honest.
In the landscape of things, like just being honest, like I feel like the AFC is a lot harder to get out of than the NFC this year.
You think so?
Like the AFC, like the teams might not look good. Like all the teams might not look good structurally, but all those teams, for the most part, were like some of the tougher teams to beat throughout the season to an extent. So
yeah, but it's just it's like you got the Titans with Derrick Henry coming back, but he's not up to rhythm, and you don't know what you're gonna get from him. The injury could flare up or all type of stuff. You got the Bills who are kind of inconsistent. I gotta be quite honest with you. I look at them as our little brother. I feel like they kind of structured their team to beat the Chiefs, and that's why a lot of times they find themselves just losing to teams that they should beat. Or it's kind of weird. It's a very weird comparison, and it's not. It's the best I can do. It's not a perfect one, but I kind of look at them as like the Rockets to the Warriors. Like during those years, it's like they constructed their team to beat the Warriors, and although they were able to get there to play the Warriors, you could just tell like their entire mindset was beating them. I feel like that is sometimes with the Bills. Is like they kind of constructed their team to play us. You know, so like. Yeah, I'm really not too worried about them, especially like the inconsistency that they've played with this year. And then, I mean, as far as the Patriots, we played as far as us, we played the Patriots many, many times. Great ass games, win or lose. They're high scoring. That's when he had Tom, and it would come down to basically one possession, one drive, that type of shit. Tom's not there no more. He got Mac Jones. And regardless of what you think Mac Jones is going to be in the future, he ain't that right now. He ain't Tom right now. Might never. He more than likely ain't ever going to be that. But I'll take our chances with Patrick and Andy over Mac and Bill. I'm not too confident in their chances to beat us either. I just think that the teams are like really flawed in the AFC, honestly, or inconsistent. One of the two. Whereas I look over at the NFC and I see teams that, although you can make the argument that they're playing inconsistent as well, I just look at their rosters and just like see just more complete teams. Cowboys, Cardinals, Packers, and then obviously the Bucks had Tom Brady. So
it's understandable. It's like based like also looking at that, it's like the NFC probably has more complete teams, but they haven't really played. Throughout the entirety of the season, most of them haven't really played like complete teams throughout the year. They've had their moments of like looking complete structurally and in the games, but no team really has like stepping out. Well, I mean the Packers obviously have been winning, but I mean that's just because you have one of the greatest clutch quarterbacks of all time. Like you gonna pull out some games, but the AFC, right. I feel like teams that are in it right now, they've had a game or two this year where like they've completely just like both sides of the ball dismantled the team, and just really asserted their dominance throughout the entirety of that game.
You don't think that the NFC teams have done that?
The Rams are like ones that I can actually say like believe they've done it a few times this year as well. The Cardinals, it was early. It was like so early that I really don't want to count them. Like the sack party that they had, I think it was like I don't know if it was in the range of like week 2 to week 9 or something like that. But like they went crazy with sacks one week.
They got pretty ravaged by COVID. They got pretty ravaged by COVID and injuries and all type of stuff.
I know they lost Watt the year. Like there's a lot of things that played a factor to it, but.
D-Hop was Alfred. It was gone. Kyler was in and out. Chase was hurt.
The economy was off for a little bit. Their run game and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean,
I just see the AFC looking a lot tougher. I feel like the AFC might be a little bit more. The games might be a little more interesting in the AFC, to be honest.
Interesting. That's been quiet over there.
I mean, I'm honestly still shocked by that whole Packers Bengals thing.
Okay.
He said, I just don't understand. He said, I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I agree. I don't think that'd be that interesting of a game, to be honest.
Y'all don't think that'd
It's
be
kind of
interesting?
weird to me.
That'd be pretty interesting.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Burrow and Rodgers would be crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
I think it would
What
be.
is the correlation there? Like, what is that?
I mean, I've loved the Bengals this entire season. Like the Bengals have just been like I really enjoyed.
No, I get that.
And then mainly the Packers because
it would be
like this is like one of their better chances to do it.
It would be fun.
I guess
you could possibly a lot of points.
Or you get a competent defense with a competent defensive coordinator with no ego that was really going to double and put help over Jamar Chase, and then fuck around and freeze over, and then what happens?
I mean, they could double Jamar, but I mean,
Higgins is good.
It's still four other bodies you have to account for.
4? Who are these 4? You have T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd's a good receiver, but he can still be single covered, and Joe Mixon can also be single covered, and he's hobbled as far as the run goes. So I mean,
they can be single covered, but I mean, as far as like, they really don't. I feel like they really don't outside of Uzoma. Like Uzoma is just old, and Mixon because he mixes that games where he doesn't really go off. They really don't have like a. I really don't feel they have like a full game, like a full game receiver that you could like that could really be contained like the entirety of the game. I don't think they have a receiver that could be. It's happened, but like
it happened multiple times.
It's happened, but I mean, more or less, it's happened in seasons. But next week, like, hey, the jar is open. You know, like I just like what I mean by contained. I'm like this, like say Jerry Jeudy, right? Coming back off injury, he's been contained. There hasn't been he hasn't scored a touchdown the whole year. He was contained. That's what I mean. Like
they just lost this week to the Browns with Case Keenum, and Jamar Chase had 2 catches.
But the Browns aren't the Broncos though. I mean, everybody knows why the Browns aren't in the playoffs. Like we can't just say the Browns are like in the same realm as a team that just. Like a Texans, like we can't put them in the same bracket. Like, the Browns,
no, I'm not saying they're not bums, but you're not going to play bums in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, the Browns have plenty of talent, and you're going to play teams with talent, teams who are not going to allow. To be quite honest, bro, like the game against Jamar Chase's game against us might have damaged him more this year than benefited him because after that. He got the full attention. Normally, it would take the rest of the year, but after that, after you had the single greatest rookie game of all time, basically, like there is no other team in the playoffs that's just even going to take that chance. Like, no, fuck that. We're not single covering you. You have proven that you demand respect, and we're going to give it to you, and he will have the utmost respect. So. And granted, Joe Burrow did not play, but even still, not Joe Mixon, but Jamar only had 2 catches.
I'm about to say if Burrow sat, that's probably the reason why his numbers were so low. Like
2 catches is still 2 catches, though. Number 1 receiver, 2 catches.
His stat line still speaks for itself. Like that's a low game, but I mean, with a team like that, where literally like I don't think there's been a game this year where like. Burrow and Chase have not played together. Like that's just a connection that if you have that connection the entire year, no faulting, like it's gonna be like the backup's gonna have a hard time trying to get it. I get you because he's used to.
All I'm saying.
I was like if you're used to like it's like if Mahomes went out for the Chiefs, right? I know it might be a little different because Chad was like serviceable.
Yeah, he was slinging it's like Matt Moore a couple years ago was slinging that.
Say the Chiefs had a rookie quarterback backing up Mahomes that just hadn't had any experience with Tyreek and Travis at any point. They would struggle a little bit because it wouldn't be just them. It would be like the quarterback itself. Like they used to Mahomes just flinging it up. Maybe that guy's a check down artist. You know, like a lot of things play differently.
Yeah, fair. All I'm saying is that this Jamar Chase Joe Burrow connection is special, but it is out there. They are not not susceptible to bad games. They can have them. This is not like who's the greatest. I don't know the greatest connection. This is not no damn. I don't know. I just think like yes, they're both great. Yeah, like this ain't, like it's not Peyton Marvin. It's not no Tom and Randy right now. Like yes, they are both great. They're both elite. They're both young. They're gonna be around. They're gonna be together for a while. But they're also susceptible to bad games. Like you can influence both of them. You know, you can take a great receiver away. You can fluster a quarterback by getting pressure to him. Like it's not some just foregone conclusion that they're just gonna go crazy and be unstoppable every week. Especially when you have an entire week to prepare for them and focus all your attention on this one team because it's in the playoffs. Like, and the line is not great.
The line is interesting.
In the playoffs, that gets exposed, man.
All right. All right. One last quick topic before we end the show for this week. NFL coaching. Joe Judge was fired today. Finally. I wondered why they fired. They make no sense. Why you fire the GM before the coach? But whatever. Anyway. So Joe Judge fired today following on the heels of Vic Fangio, Mike Zimmer, Matt Nagy, and oddly enough, Brian Flores.
Yep. And then also the other two openings being the Jaguars and the Raiders.
Right.
I also think
for other reasons.
for other reasons, yes.
I think the Bears and Vikings also have like two openings, like head coach and GM, because I think they fired both.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, no, the Giants too, because Gettleman retired, so they're both.
Interesting.
Who was it? Was it the Bear? I thought I read something about the Bears maybe looking at Leslie Frazier. Interesting fit.
Leslie Frazier from the Browns back
to
in
the Vikings
day?
too. I think like in 20.
Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Frazier was like I think he was a coordinator for the Vikings at some point. Took the head coaching job. Wasn't really that bad. And then kind of just like susceptible to the team, not really in where they wanted it to be.
Oh, okay, I got you. Because that's because they had Christian Ponder.
When they had like Breakwater and stuff, like they wasn't really bad. It wasn't a bad team at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't. They wasn't terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I forgot what team it was where like I've seen a headline about Harbaugh probably thinking about going back to the NFL after college season. I don't know why. I mean, they just paid him, but I mean, it's crazy things that happened. I remember they said something about Dolphins were firing Flores off the possibility that Harbaugh is eligible to if Harbaugh wants to come back to the NFL, then the Dolphins can have him. That was a fallacy because I'm like that. Why would you drop a good coach for a possibility?
From what I've read, he'll at least listen.
Like why would they drop a good coach who built his team to a streak and their season looked pretty much dead for a possibility? Like that doesn't make sense. Like say they talk to him and like they sell him this really good fantasy story and he still comes back to Michigan. Like what does that do? That does nothing for them.
No.
I don't know. I mean, Flores probably would still be. It would be weird though. Like you just fired him, and it's like we wanted our guy, but I mean you're serviceable, so we're gonna bring you back. Like no, it ain't gonna work that way.
Yeah, I think that's just no. I really think that the Harbaugh thing, as far as the Dolphins, might just be noise. I think they fired him because of some disagreement going on within the organization, whether it be the owner or whoever. But yeah, I mean, let's be clear. They're doing him a favor.
His coaching expertise would definitely be more vital on another team. But for the sake of the
Yes.
Dolphins, for a team that literally like is young and has a lot of room to grow, you would kind of want to keep a guy that like really wills the team on, like to like get
Yeah.
dubs and
Mhm.
still play hard and have fun. You would want to keep that guy in the locker room because
And they're young and there's cap space.
yeah, like think
They
about it,
can-
like think about it, what
He was winning
it's
with
like
Tua
Tua looked good at certain points in the year.
while also missing games. Tua only played 13
Yeah, like
games. So it's like he also like his very average quarterback also
Yeah.
missed time. So it's
yeah,
just like
Waddle
and he was
Waddle
still
had like
finding ways
Waddle
to
had a
win.
really solid rookie year, like catching the ball. Like,
well, he did it. He did it last year with rookie Tua and
yeah,
Fitzpatrick.
like
Yeah.
Won 10
and
games.
then think about even defense, like their defense is literally like one of the better ones from like the past. Like even though they don't really win games, like their defense, there's weeks where that defense is like putting clamps, putting walls up, like Wilkins. I think they got Byron Jones over there. Like the team has endless potential. Why would you cut a guy like that? That team probably had like Vrabel potential, low-key, as far as like just them having a coach that they can believe in. He believes in them. Like other than that, every other firing makes sense because I mean,
Sure.
visually, you can tell Zimmer was sick of coaching Minnesota. Like I think there was even a press conference. He literally said that like this team sucks. Not literally, but to an extent, he basically said this team sucks. Like he wanted to go. Like he wanted out. And Nagy is just
Nagy is bad. That should have been done.
It's like to be honest, like no disrespect, but like Nagy is like the Mitchell Trubisky of coaches because there's certain games where like he looks like a head coach, he does his job, and then there's certain games where like he goes for it when he shouldn't. There's a couple games where he went for it and he could have kicked field goals. There's games where he doesn't go for it and it's like 4th and 1, and it's like, bro, like closer you are, you don't go for it. Like he flips a lot. And plus that Bears team, like they're known for defense. Like having an offensive having an offensive coach, and the offense really isn't like your focal point. It's never gonna really work out. You can have Fields, Allen Robinson, like that still ain't gonna work out for you, personally.
Yeah.
But Vic 2, I ain't gonna lie, because Vic 2.
What's the best coaching job that you guys, in your opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Of the ones available?
Yeah.
You might be surprised here. I think Denver.
I understand that.
I don't disagree. Stability.
They're about to have new ownership. That thing was clear today. They're going to be sold.
Yeah.
They're going to have new ownership. They have cap space. They absolutely will do whatever it takes to get one of these quarterbacks. Wouldn't shock me if Rodgers was it. Don't know. But they've got a solid defense. They've got young weapons on offense. And they got money.
But that's definitely understandable.
And even if the current ownership group sticks around for a little bit, I would imagine, and I think even if a new ownership group comes in, they're probably going to be football minded. They're going to want someone who's going to whip this puppy into shape quickly because they've got what it takes to be a playoff team. So now the thing is to me, I'll ask the question: is it finally time, Mr. Hot Takes? Is it finally time for your boy to get a head coaching job? I say it is.
I mean, it's been time, but
no question, it's been time. But is it finally literally time? I say yes.
And where at the Bears?
He's getting a job. I can't say which one, but he's getting one.
I would definitely like him to go to the Bears and get an actual offensive coordinator from the Chiefs tree that can coach, because apparently Matt Nagy can't.
I ain't like
or even Dougie P. I wouldn't be mad at the Dougie P for the Bears. I wouldn't be mad at that either. I've been hearing his name come up. So I heard his name actually attached to some team. I'm not sure if it was the Bears, but he's gonna get back into the cycle again too.
I ain't gonna lie.
So yeah, the Vikings. Yeah, report that the Vikings wanted to interview Doug.
Be interesting.
Yeah. But no, for sure, I definitely think. I mean, yeah, you speaking to the choir. He definitely should have been a head coach already. I thought that last year would have been this year, and I thought the year before that would have been this year. So I can't say that he'll absolutely be coaching this year because it should have already happened. So I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
I think it's a year.
We've been waiting patiently for a while.
But
Nagy.
Well, there's one successful one, and then there's one that isn't. So you got Dougie P, who is successful, won a Super Bowl, and then you got Matt Nagy, who
Doug will probably. I could see Dougie with one of those jobs. Nagy probably needs to rebuild his rep. Go
He's
back
going
to
to be a coordinator.
He might just
go back to a coordinator spot.
Being honest, like Todd Bowles as a coach just really wasn't it, but as a coordinator, like money, like he gets the job done. That might just be what Nagy's situation is. Or a team that fits what he wants to do offensively, because the Bears really didn't have that.
I mean, other than Flores,
that's your job. I feel like as a guy, the coach, and the offensive guy, that's your job to fit your talent. You can't. That's always been his problem. He did it with Trubisky, and he did the same thing with Justin. It's like, bro, fit your offense to your talent. Why are you not like doing mobile shit with Justin Fields? Why are you not have him on the move?
I mean, Flores should get another head coaching job. The rest of them should be coordinators again.
You think Mike Zimmer shouldn't get a head coaching job?
No, I think he should be a I think he should go back to coordinating.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like him and Vangio, like they just seem like party. No, they're not the same. But I just like they're party poopers when their teams aren't winning, and you don't. No, it matters a lot, Chris, if you think about it, more or less. Even though he's made.
What does that even mean?
Like this. Like, for example, like if Andy Reid went to say when the Chiefs were bad, if Andy Reid went to a press conference and said, "I ain't gonna lie to you, this team stinks," how would you think the team would feel? Just hear your coach say flat out that I don't think you guys can play.
I mean, well, one, there's been plenty of coaches that have said similar things in similar situations. If the team isn't performing, and I haven't even seen the interview that you're talking about, so I can't even really speak on specifically that. But let's not act like winning coaches, all type of coaches don't come in and say like we play piss poor. This team's just not very good right now. Like they say all that type of shit, bro. Like we can't just pick and choose.
It's not even that. It's like, I mean, there's teams where like that's happened, but I mean, in most cases, like, or at least now, I feel like there's ways of like writing it off to where it's like you don't just completely like demoralize your whole roster.
Bro, I'm not gonna go there with you just because coaches say shit like this all the time. It just depends on whether or not it picks up steam or whether or not like it gets picked up in the media. Like, and apparently this one got picked up in the media for you to see it. But like,
I mean, I'm pretty sure like I'm pretty sure there's other coaches like I'm pretty sure Bruce Arians is exactly the same way. But I mean, like people, he's been like that his whole career. Like whether he was a coordinator or not, he's been like that his whole career.
I'm sure Mike has been the way his whole career as well. He's not gonna change. He got to where he is by being who he was.
One got leaked. one got leaked in a bad way. I ain't gonna lie. But I mean, yeah, Flores definitely. Flores did a job.
No, if I go down Bruce's history, bro, I'm sure I can find something very similar.
His first year in Tampa. His first year in Tampa was kind of funny because
yeah, he probably said the same shit. This team isn't very good. Something shit like that. Like, I'm not gonna hold that to Mike. He calls it how he sees it, and I mean, he's supposed to lie. And the season's over. We weren't very good this year.
You're at the season. Like, I forgot what.
Well, listen. We're not very good right now.
I forgot what time frame in the year it was that he did all that. But I feel like I mean, they could be. They very much probably going to be coordinators. Like honestly, it don't really matter.
Mike Zimmer's a good coach, man.
It's a lie. If Zimmer was to have if you was to see him get hired by a team right now, where would you think he would go, or where do you think he should go?
Let me look at the vacancies.
Denver?
I can definitely see Denver. I can see Denver. I can see the Dolphins. I can see Denver and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I can also see the Bears. Bears like defensive. Bears. They need to get that identity. Defensive guy. I can see that.
Jacksonville.
I don't see that. I don't like Mike for Jacksonville. For Jacksonville,
wait. maybe it doesn't seem like it like on the surface, but when they were good, it was their defense.
Wait, I think Doug Marrone was a defensive coach. I think Doug Marrone was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, I mean, it could.
Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, yeah, I would more or less see like I feel like the Bears. They need to go back to their roots. Honestly, they can get off like they can get an offensive coach, but I mean, they need to go back to their roots. Like defense is what got them to the Super Bowl a few years ago. They need to get back to their roots because.
Well, the Bears fans that I know, and I do know a few of them, they are screaming the enemy, and they don't want to be defense. They think they've got their they think they've got their quarterback. They want offense. They want some creative offense and to score some goddamn points.
Sure, they wanted that when they got Matt Nagy. They thought they had it.
I don't know, I don't know. Look at the Bears, it's like. Like the defense that they have, like we got Khalil, we got Quinn, we got what other corners that they got? They got
a solid defense.
Actually, no, I'm not thinking of names like that. People
they have personnel,
but like that defense is like so bread and butter with them. Like I feel like for the most part, I mean, obviously, like these past few seasons, they haven't really looked like that type of defense of old. But I feel like if they just get back to that, I mean, they have a better chance of like climbing out that strategy rather than trying to like line up to the other offensively powered teams in that conference as a whole.
But couldn't you say that since they have their defense as far as personnel figured out and it's it's already set that you can worry less about it? I don't have to get a defensive minded coach because we have our defense put together right now. I can get a defensive coordinator that can just handle that because we have the personnel. We have guys who know how to play with each other, know how to do their jobs, whereas our offense is just a complete mess. And, at the end of the day, yes, we can stop people, but if we can't score points at all.
That is very true in that aspect. But, I don't know. Like, me personally, that's what I would go with, more or less. They could probably still, go outside the box, get the enemy, and then really just try to like mix it up. Get Justin Fields into some like nice. I
mean, you drafted him.
Yeah, but they drafted him to be the guy. So obviously, the ideal plan would be to get an offensive guy that really like.
You owe it to your organization to give him the best shot to be successful. Because I mean, if he isn't, it's gonna be bad because you're not gonna get another quarterback for probably another 2 years.
They're probably gonna be waiting until at that point they'd be in the Bryce Young sweepstakes. So at that point, so like, also like as a random thing, like I think the Jags need to do like what the Cardinals did, like when they went and got Cliff Kingsbury. Like they need to just get a youthful coach that can possibly like grow with Lawrence because Lawrence isn't bad. It's just. This whole year has been turmoil. Like the team as a whole, Urban, like he needs consistency in a coach that is relatable. Is relatable to him. Yeah, like he needs a coach that's he needs a coach that's relatable to him. Like,
you know what? I like it.
Yeah, because
I like it. They got picks. They got picks. They got
like Flores with that team is definitely something that could be very, very interesting.
He works with young players. He gets the best out of everybody he's got. He's
relatively young. He's still relatively young too. I think he's 40 flat.
Dude,
for a coach, that's still pretty young.
I appreciate you saying. I appreciate just side note. I appreciate you saying 40 is still young. I appreciate.
I know, but if we're talking about in coaching years, 40 is young in coaching years.
Okay.
Hey, listen, LeBron finna be 40 right now. He's still balling.
See, Chris tried to say something. Chris said something I appreciate, and you got to sell me. All right,
honestly, Chris, I know exactly what you meant. Like, we know exactly what's going on here. Like, the average NFL coach is like 50.
What do you mean?
I'm saying like,
Mike Zimmer. Actually, it's probably older than that because I mean, Mike Zimmer was 65. He just got fired.
I feel like the average coach is like they're it's like 50 or higher, more or less. Like if you get a coach that's 40, even 37, like you're good. Like they love those.
Yeah, I know. We got like the Sean McVays and the Cliffs that are
I think
relatively young.
I think Sean.
And what's fella's name in Buffalo?
Yeah, McDermott.
Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean McVay, Sean McVay,
Good
35.
Lord, he's
I didn't know he was that
35.
damn young. Yes. So that means he was like as old as some of his players when
Yeah,
he got that
that's
job.
crazy.
That's crazy. He's been a coach for what, like
He's been there for a
6
minute.
years?
How
long has Sean McVay been the Rams coach?
Ooh.
went to the Super Bowl in 20. What year
Let's
was
see.
I think that's probably close.
2017. Yeah. Like 2017. So that was almost 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago? Yeah, 5 years ago. So he got hired when he was basically 30. That shit is crazy.
He's been going crazy ever since. That's crazy.
So good for that guy. But yeah, Brian Flores to the Jaguars. So my point for it being though is that he gets his shot to have the franchise quarterback because I think Brian Flores is an exceptional coach, and I think if you are able to pair him with like a franchise quarterback, we'll really be able to see. Like we saw it with the Dolphins, but it's just like how much is he going to really win with Fitzpatrick and Tua? I'm not too high on either of those guys. Fitz has definitely had his magic, but it's very inconsistent. And Tua, to me, is just very average.
Plus, I really just wanted to be. I want next season to be a season where like people kind of like off the whole like Lawrence is a bus train because Lawrence literally there's a lot of people that just think Lawrence is a bust and he's washed, and it's like looking at what he had to deal with for his rookie year, I'm not surprised his numbers look the way it did. ETN got hurt before the season started. He probably was going to be a big part of the offense. Urban's a dickhead. Like, the team's young. Like, there's a lot of things that played a factor in, like, why his rookie year wasn't looking like a Mac. I ain't gonna even Mac Jones didn't have a statistical year, probably better than him. But as far as, like, team success, there's a reason why it didn't look that way. But
yeah, I mean, and even like his he threw more interceptions than touchdowns, but like I don't know. I look at his statistics and to me they're very salvageable.
Yeah,
to 17 to 12. I mean, an additional year with a training camp and a competent coaching staff.
Yeah, a coach that believes
shave
a coach
off
that believes in the vision.
Off.
They get ETN. Even though like might not be that big of a deal, more or less. I feel like it could be, but I don't think it might be that big of a deal. But like as many pieces you can get back as possible. I think they even lost the receiver this year, didn't they? I feel like they lost the receiver. I don't know. I don't know if it was Chark or Chennault. They lost one of the two. But once they get,
it was Shark then. Yeah, Shark.
Yeah, like once they get that full unit back, like, it should look brighter for them if they get a guy like Flores in the coaching booth for him.
I mean, shit, they need to trade down from that number 1 overall pick. Honestly, that's what I think.
They could probably swap to 3. Honestly, yeah. Who got? I think the Texans have 3. I think.
Yeah, Texans have 3.
Yeah.
I knew for the fact that I knew the Texans had lower than 5, then I would have been confused because
yeah, it's tough for them though because it's just like I don't know. Maybe if the Lions really think that Jacksonville is going to take, well, shit, actually, it doesn't even matter because like you could take Aiden or Kayvon.
Looking at their needs, what the Jags need, they can trade down to 4 and still get it.
I mean, they need a receiver, some pass rush, some offensive line help.
They need corners. They can trade down to 4 or like 7 and still get a corner.
I mean, but the corner's not at the top of their lead or their needs though.
know their corners are right now. If I understand.
I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like the teams, nobody's really hurting to trade up to get any of these guys. I don't think. I don't know. The team that I would think that needs it is like you guys. You need that pass rush, but like there's two guys there, so it's like you can take Kayvon. We'll just take Aiden, or you can take Aiden.
It's like the pick of. It's like more of a pick of the litter when it comes to rushers in this draft, more or less than like if you need, quarterbacks and tight ends. Because I mean, I heard nothing about tight ends this year, so it's hard to gauge. Like if a dude wants to move up and get Matt Corral, they're looked at more as crazy rather than like, oh, this is wishful thinking. Like no, like this doesn't make sense right now. At least for the position that you're taking, man. So. I suppose we can dive into that though, because I want to see what these mocks talking about.
I guess the Panthers could want a quarterback, but I mean they wouldn't have. They know they won't. They know they're not going to have to draft up to get one.
The Panthers are like what 6th? Oh yeah, they could definitely get a quarterback at 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's probably the real issue here. It's just that the quarterback class is just
more or less there's nobody potential in it, but as far as a first round, like there's not a glaring quarterback in the first round. Like the Joe Burrow years, like you could tell like Burrow deserved to be a first rounder.
Or just like previous years, like there's multiple guys. Even the year where people they said at the time that it was down. I mean, they're starters. Like when it was, what is it? Baker? Was it Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Or am I? Is that's the same
Baker
class, right?
In the same class. Like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2018.
2018, I think.
Yeah. Or obviously like the Mahomes, Watson, Lamar class.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like usually there's just a higher guy, and granted, they'll definitely be propped up during this whole pre-draft process. We know that like the quarterbacks will definitely start rising out of nowhere.
Plus the combine, still their pro days. A lot of teams are probably going to get more like inside a look.
And every single year, it's always like, oh my God, it was raining and he was just flinging the ball. Like, I don't care about nobody in the rain.
We pulled up to the workout. It started pouring. Matter of fact, it started snowing. Actually, you know what he did? He threw on a hoodie and he kept throwing. That's what we need. Like, no.
I was gonna say no. They were probably gonna be like, bro took his shirt off. He's jacked. He's throwing the ball. He's got an arm on him. He's running.
He's rolling.
He's the prototype.
He was looking real mannish in that pocket. I ain't gonna lie. In the snow, why'd you like?
Man, rolling out left, throwing back to his right, doing all types
crossbody Mahomes. Like nobody asked for all this.
Man.
Well, depending on combine and pro day and everything like that, and the weirdness and quarterback need, I could see 4 going in the first round this year.
If a quarterback gets taken this year, the Panthers are the first ones to take him. I feel like the Panthers will be the first one to take a quarterback.
I don't know.
Like, if they really move on from Darnold and like one of those guys like a Corral or a Pickett really like shows out in their combine and stuff, Panthers will definitely take a quarterback at 6.
I could theoretically see 4 in the first round.
You think the Giants are going to take their quarterback?
I'm not sure exactly who, because I could see some dealing, especially if there's a Rodgers on the market. There could theoretically be a Russell Wilson on the market. I'm not saying he will be, but theoretically, a Deshaun Watson on the market. Pick swapping hands. Yeah, I could.
Any of those guys going to the Giants.
Not the Giants per se. Yeah. I'm just saying, but in general, picks could be moved around, and then there's going to be a different scenario where somebody else is picking in a spot, and they're going to look at quarterback. I could see 4. I could see Corral, Pickett, Howell, and Willis. I'll go in first round. I can see it. Shouldn't.
I don't know about Willis,
but I can see it.
I feel like
I could see him.
Willis
I
is
could
the
see him
raw
late
side
first round.
out of the four.
I could see him late first round if he performs well enough. Combine pro day, late first round.
Willis is an athlete, so I mean, like his combine numbers are gonna be crazy. Like to be honest, like for Willis, he's the only one where they really have to go off his game film. Because if they go off his athletic prowess, then yeah, he's like bottom of the first. But the other three, like they have to have combine numbers that back up what they did during the year. More or less, I feel like that's what theirs would have to be.
Interesting. We start talking about the draft a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
we got
at some
a
point.
little.
There's going to be a more in-depth conversation, more or less, because I mean, the picks are confirmed.
Absolutely.
And as playoffs go on, like I think 19 through 30, 19 through 30 something is going to get confirmed as like teams drop and stuff. So
I think in the coming weeks. Spoiler alert. A full first round mock draft. What do you say, fellas? Give them what they want.
I ain't gonna lie. Based off the first poll, you know I'm for the people, man.
Don't even start that mess.
Man. They love me, man.
This man rigged, Chris. This man rigged the poll so he'd win, right? Because there's no way his list was better than ours.
I don't know.
For what it was supposed to be. For what it was supposed to be.
First of all, the fact that you're questioning my character here, man. You're questioning my character. I'm about to go into my Stephen A. tone right now because you're questioning my character right now. It's blasphemous. Like,
blasphemous.
I feel oddly hurt right now. Like, how can you say that to me?
Come on, Skip. Come on, Skip.
Skip. I don't know. Like that wasn't rigged. Like my list was feasible. My list was plausible. And yeah, if it's a mock, like they might.
I'm just trying to point. I'm just trying to. I gave you this credit based on what could very well happen on draft night. Your list made the most sense, but based on what we were doing for that episode, top 10 period overall prospects period, not what will happen on draft night. We had better lists.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean,
I certainly did.
Just say you got the people to vote for you.
No, like honestly, like to be honest, Chris, like nobody outside of the people that probably y'all know as well. I didn't even tweet out that the poll was up. Like that promoted it, and then he told people to vote for him. So,
but in all seriousness, though, obviously, what we did for that episode, I think the fans misinterpreted is we wanted to vote for whose list was the best for the top 10 overall prospects, period. Not, and they just took it as, probably took it as top 10 just generally. And because PTP's was more realistic, which is true, it was more realistic in terms of what would likely happen on draft night as opposed to just the players themselves. That's why he won.
Plus, I ain't gonna lie. Like,
fine.
Even though I did have two Michigan players and 2 Michigan State players. Only, even looking back on that list, only 2 of the people that I had listed as top prospects could go in the first round. That's Ojabo and Hutchinson. I don't see the other 2, Walker and what his last name was. Was it Henderson? I forget what it was, but I don't see those guys going first round. But I feel like it was fairly.
I wouldn't rule it out.
I mean, safeties could just fly this year because the safeties are nice, but it's a mock. You know what I'm saying? A full. Well, I don't know how we're gonna do it. It might be everybody gets a certain amount of picks, and then we just fill it out that way. But the people can trust my decisions when it comes to picking who goes where, because I feel like I'm that guy. I feel like I could be the Black Mel Kiper in my early 40s. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Anyway, Chris, I think we'll go ahead and end the show there.
Hold on.
Because
We can't keep ending episodes like this where y'all trying to make me seem like I'm on an island.
hey, we damn near ended the episode last week with me going full Skip Bayless with a Kyrie take. So why not?
I mean, you look with a little skip earlier. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie. This is a little.
What I do?
It was. Like, it was a while ago in this recording, but you had your little moment.
You know.
Oh, facts. Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I might just send it to him. Actually, I'm like, hey, watch the first like 2 or 3 minutes, or no, not the first 2 or 3 minutes. It's probably like the first 5 or 6 minutes.
Set for you. At 25 minutes.
I'm a timestamp and just send it to him. Like, listen to this.
Disrespected your quarterback.
All right, everyone. That's all for us this week. As always, we appreciate the follows, the listens.
Also, really quickly,
follow us at going.
You can plug it real quick. I got you after that.
All right. Follow us at Going for 3 Pod on Twitter. Follow us on all the streaming sites: Google, Apple, Spotify. You know the drill. Follow me on. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want my nuclear hot takes when I'm on Twitter at Tony the Real. Fellas, where can they find you?
Instagram and Twitter, Chris D. Commons. Be unabashedly and unshamedly defending.
All right. If you want to see Bull highlights whenever he starts playing for the Pistons, you can follow me on Twitter at PTP_99. Very objective, you know what I'm saying? And also, I just want to point out, I think we're at 13 followers on the podcast page. I'm still going to remind everyone that listens to these episodes to follow the Twitter. 20 at least by the end of January is the goal here. So, yeah, go over there and that button, man. That button real quick.
All right. Thank you all again. Thank you all for listening, following. Go hit those follow buttons on the platforms, on Twitter, on Instagram. You know the drill. We thank you for being here. Y'all have a blessed night. We'll see you next week.